Okay, started.
Awesome. I'm just going to triple check Prathapeen can hear us. All right. Good evening, all. Can I just triple check everyone is able to hear me? Fantastic.
Yes.
Cool. So just to firstly say good evening to everyone, and also to highlight this is obviously being recorded. So just to bear that in mind. I'll start by obviously welcoming myself. I am Joshua Ayodele, councillor for Woolwich Arsenal, but also the chair of the licensing committee. So I'll be chairing the meeting, and I also would ask that everyone just keeps their microphones muted if they're not speaking. Along with me, I'm also joined by Councillor Linda Bird and Councillor Claire Burke MacDonald, who will be part of the committee for today's session. And I'm also joined by our legal advisors, Inara McConville and Karen Mitchell, and along with Matthew Atto, who is the clerk for today's meeting. Steve McNully is our licensing officer. So just for the reference, and obviously we have the applicants and participants. Can I firstly triple check if there have been any apologies received? None from me. Good stuff. And I haven't been notified of any urgent business. So I think hopefully we should just have the one item on the agenda. Good. And does anybody have, or any members have an interest or declaration of interest to declare? Good stuff. Awesome. Cool. Well, I know everyone's probably had received the papers, but prior to going ahead with that, can I also triple check with councillors Linda Bird and Clement McDonald that you've seen the meetings for the previous meeting, and are these agreed?
Yeah. I wasn't there, but I've read them, so yes.
Awesome. Thanks, Linda. Cool. All right. So the item before us today is to do with the Greenwich convenience store. It's addressed on 100 Woolwich Road, SE10 0LE. And as I have just triple checked, Ian Andrews is here from the applicant side, the trading standard side. Good evening, Ian. And I also know we have Prathapeen, the license holder. Can I triple check that I pronounced that correctly, please? How are you, love?
Prathiban.
Prathiban.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prathiban. Welcome. Good evening. And I can also note that everyone that needed a link to this meeting has a link to this meeting. So everybody that needs to be here is here. Okay, cool. I will just set out a few rules for us to be aware of, Prathiban and Ian. I know you might be familiar with this, but just for the formalities of this process. One is also that to ensure that there is a 15-minute time limit to be aware of, as set down in the policy. So that I ask that any issues that are raised should be relevant to licensing objectives. Okay, so please let's ensure that we do that. And I will shortly invite Steve to give an outline of the case and a summary of the report. And then, Prathiban, obviously, you will have an opportunity to speak along with Ian. So just bear that in mind. Okay, cool. Do many of the members have any questions for the licensing officer at this junction? If not, I'll hand over to Steve. Awesome. Steve, over to you.
Thank you, Chair. The subcommittee is requested to consider an application, as you know, for a review of the premises licence for Greenwich Convenience Store, 100 Woolwich Road, SE10 OLE. Application made by Ian Andrews, who's head of RBG Trading Standards, Commercial Environmental Health, on behalf of the Trading Standards as a responsible authority, as set out in Appendix A, and in line with the licensing objectives of the Prevention of Crime and Disorder and the Protection of Children from Harm. The Licensing Act hearings regulations require that we make that you make a determination at the conclusion of the hearing and give reasons for that decision. In line with Section 53 of the Licensing Act, it's open to the committee to revoke the premises licence, modify the conditions of the premises licence, exclude licensable activity, remove the DPS, or suspend the premises licence for a period not exceeding 3 months, or do nothing. And the Licensing Act states that the licensing authority may only consider representations relevant to one or more of the 4 licensing objectives of the prevention of crime and disorder, prevention of public nuisance, public safety, and the protection of children from harm, and may only consider matters that have been raised with them on the grounds for review and by way of representation. There were no additional representations received regarding this application. The review itself seeks the addition of 7 conditions to Annex 2 of the premises licence, those conditions being detailed in Appendix A of the report, although the trading standards are aware that other options are available to the subcommittee. The grounds for the review are more fully described within the body of the review application, but are basically driven by an incident on the 9th of February this year, when a nicotine-based age-restricted vape product was sold to a person under the age of 18. As I say, you'll see the 7 conditions in Appendix A. We received the application on the 1st of July, the last date for representations being the 29th of July. The application was correctly advertised as required by regulations. Display notice at the premises itself, on the highway outside, and they were regularly checked to ensure that they weren't damaged or defaced. Notice was also posted in the town hall notice board facing the offices at Wellington Street, and advertised for 28 days on the Royal Greenwich website. The current premises licence, which was converted under grandfather rights from the old 1964 Licensing Act, was granted in December 2005 and authorises the sale and supply of alcohol for consumption off the premises only on the days Monday to Saturday from 8 AM until 11 PM and on Sunday from 10 AM until 10:30 PM. And a copy of that premises licence is attached at Appendix B of the report. The premises is historically operated as an off-licence and grocery shop, but also sells a variety of household goods, and is situated on the fairly busy Woolwich Road, the A206, about 75 metres from the roundabout under the Blackwall Tunnel approach, and about 30 metres from the Angustin Hotel public house. Properties to the rear are mainly residential, and there's also a primary school about 250 metres away in Halstow Road. There are a number of other licensed premises within the area, but it is not part of a cumulative impact zone, and maps of the area are attached to Appendix C of the report. There's no noise complaints associated with the premises, and you'll see a list of other licensed premises in the area in the report. As I said, there were no additional representations received to this application from either the public or any of the responsible authorities. That's a quick pricing for you, but if there's any questions, I'm more than happy to try to answer them.
Thank you, Steve. Can I invite Claire or Linda to first ask if there are any questions following that presentation?
I don't have any questions, Chair. That was very, very clear. Thanks.
Yeah, same. Thank you.
Thank you both. Thanks, Steve. I will move on now to...
I do have a short PowerPoint if you want to, Chair, just to show you where it is and what the inside of the place looks like.
Let's do that. Yeah, that'd be great.
If I'm able to share my screen, let's have a try. Oh, here we go. Why do these things never come up when you want them to work? Can you see that?
We can, yeah. You are.
Let me just try and move things around so we can see it properly.
Okay.
From the beginning. Okay, there's a map that's similar to the one in the report that just shows where the premises is in relation to the Blackwall Tunnel approach, and it's on Woolwich Road. slightly different one where you can see the premises all around, or the things all around are basically residential. There are some industrial premises just on that bit. It's just looking the other way, really, from the O2 downwards, should we say, just showing where the premises is, even though that is in the way. Front of the store, as you see, it's a fairly small premises. When you stand outside, you're looking towards the flyover for the Blackwall Tunnel approach. The Anglesteen Hotel is just there on the corner. If you look the other way, basically towards Greenwich, looking directly opposite, basically the old fire station. Inside the store, it's a view from the front door looking towards the back, and conversely looking from the back towards the front. As I said, the notices were put on the lamppost outside and in the website and the town hall, the notice board in the town hall. And that's just a close-up of the notice that was displayed on both locations. And that will be that. And if there's any questions, I can go back if you need to any slide.
Thank you, Steve. That was very helpful. I will also just ask again, just for formalities, Linda, or Claire, any questions? I'm happy for you to stop presenting, Steve.
Thank you, Chair.
Very good. None of this junction. Yeah, I think it's visibly placed where it's stated. I'm quite familiar with the store. But now I will move on to Ian to now share, obviously, his submission. So, Ian, over to you.
Thank you, Chair. Hopefully, the papers depict that this is a relatively straightforward application, in that a test purchase operation done in February resulted in the sale of a vape at the store. I would highlight at the outset that whilst this was not an alcohol test purchase, nevertheless we feel that there is scope for, subject to your decision, the conditions attached to the license to be reviewed. The premises license holder did make a number of concessions in the formal interview that was conducted by officers after the event, and those admissions are found within the application. I don't propose to draw attention to any of them in particular, just to say that we do recognise that there was an admission, but to prevent any future risk in line with the two objectives that I've highlighted within the application, we are suggesting a number of conditions as found in the appendix to the current licensing procedure. I'm happy to assist if there are any questions.
Yeah, thank you for that, Ian. Claire, Linda, any questions off the back of that? If not, I might just quickly ask a question, Ian. I know you mentioned that, they obviously provided some further information in consultation with you. And I've obviously noted some of the conditions laid out within the application. Are we still of the view that they are more than fit to, abide by those, particularly on the refusals log, which would be installed, or, perhaps to ensure that they are quite robust when they are refusing anyone underage?
Chair, I think we would be. The plan would be that if these conditions are added, then we would look to review compliance in due course. So this wouldn't be the end of the matter, but this would be part of a stepped approach. And there's an ongoing suite of test purchases and visits that are done by the trading standards team in conjunction with the licensing team. And 100 Woolwich Road may be a premises that we would revisit in the future, although that would definitely be in 2025 rather than before Christmas. subject to whatever you decide.
Okay. Good. And I do note also that the convenience store has installed a new system, or some form of new surveillance system. And I will invite them to speak about that during their submission. Linda, I saw your hand there. Go ahead.
Yes, sorry, Chair. Thank you very much. So, Ian, I may have got the wrong end of the stick, but am I right to assume that the conditions that we're looking at are really are mostly to do with the sale of alcohol? That's what I was reading. That I didn't read any conditions that included the control and sale of the vapes. There, I could be wrong there.
No, that's right, Councillor, because the sale of vapes is outside of the scope of the 2003 Act. But in effect, what we are highlighting is that the sale of a vape highlights deficiencies in the overall age-restricted measures that are in place. So it is in effect a proxy for whether someone who's under 18, if they were to walk into the shop, would be prevented from buying something that legally they shouldn't be sold.
Thank you, Ian. Thanks.
Very helpful. Cool. If in the absence of any further questions, I will now pass the floor over to Pradipin. I beg your pardon if I've mispronounced that. You will have 15 minutes, so I'll give you time to share your thoughts and provide any additional comments further to what you've heard so far and your submission to us ahead of this meeting. Over to you.
Hi, I'm Biff. This is my father. English isn't the best, so speaking on his behalf. In regards to the incident, he has admitted to what happened, and he does apologise for the incident. Not that it's excusable, but during the period, he was stressing over the health condition of a family member, which I think also was mentioned in the last email, which is why we had to go on holiday to see this person, spend some time with this person, which is why the last meeting was rescheduled for today. In regards to the gentleman that bought the vape, my dad did say it strongly resembled a frequent customer, which he mistaken for, again, under a lot of stress. Not that it's excusable, which he has apologized for. In regards to the conditions, the mandatory conditions, we already have everything set up as we before. In terms of the other conditions and the change in procedural, there is extra CCTV within the store. Also, a refusal log has been set up on all tobacco and alcohol products, just so that before even handing over anything, we have to manually confirm that the person is looks above 25, if not to challenge ID, a photographic ID with either a hologram or UV. The only thing my father was questioning was the condition 5. Sorry, let me read this again. Condition 5, where it says alcoholic drinks sold for consumption should have a label marked. The only thing is, as someone mentioned earlier, the incident was tobacco related, and although these alcoholic conditions do relate with the sale of underage persons, it is quite a tedious thing to do, especially when we've set up the refusal logs to take extra preventative care, and it would just be tedious to put a label on every single drink. at the end of the day, it's still an alcoholic drink. It doesn't make a difference whether there's a label on it or not, and there's already labels that come within the actual alcohol drinks label themselves. So it doesn't. It kind of he feels takes focus of other priorities within the shop to be doing that. But other than that, everything else within the conditions, he's already doing. So yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Brother Veen, did you have anything to add to what your son has said?
No, I'm already.
He's essentially saying he's already doing all the steps taken care. So yeah.
Good. All right. Thank you for that, and also thank you for obviously, you've taken what seems to be very responsible measures following the incident, which is duly noted and acknowledged. Councillor Lindau, Councillor Claire McDonald, is there any questions at this junction for the licensee holder? Cool.
I don't think I have any other than I would agree with the chair's assessment that it does seem that you've already implemented a few changes to make your processes more secure, and it also appears to me that you take it very seriously what's happened and how we can move forward and ensure things can stay safe for everyone.
Linda?
Yes, thank you, Chair. I would agree with that. However, I would just say that, I'm aware of where the shop actually is. So I would just like to ask Prathipan, and apologies if I got that incorrect, do you get many young people in the shop, children, because you're very close to Halstow School and very close around there. So say, do young people come into the shop, because you sell other things other than alcohol, you sell other provisions. So do young people come into your shop as a matter of course? Really, just a question I would ask.
பக்கத்து கடைக்கு வர்றது நீ சொல்லு. பக்கத்து கடைக்கு வர்றது எங்களுக்கு பெருசா வர்றது இல்லை. Not more.
He's saying most of our customers are working people. We do occasionally have kids come in, but if you look inside the shop, a lot of our items are catered towards the older people, just simply because a lot of our customer base is older people.
Also, I'm not selling the kids item. Also, not sell anything because nobody comes.
Yeah, he's just mentioned as well. We don't sell a lot of items catered towards kids because we don't have a lot of kids come into the store anyways. So yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that. I guess one or two things from me. I think, Brother Bean, it does seem that you are, an experienced shop owner. So, and also you obviously have a store in Gillingham, so you should have some, awareness of the conditions or what the standards we expect within the Greenwich community. I do think, to your point around condition 5 being potentially tedious, I think one thing we want to ensure with all our, shops or whatever institutions they might be, is that they are as responsible as possible with the sale of goods. And obviously, I think with the conditions from 1 to 4, you'll note that we are keen to see that you have the adequate signage which indicates, what should be sold to individuals of a certain age and what shouldn't, and the measures you will take. I think the only other thing to say at this point would be on condition 2, we really do want to ensure that you are taking the necessary steps when it comes to training. So I would encourage you and your employees to make sure that's done, because we definitely have high standards when it comes to our stores. There's no questions at this point for me, further to what's already been asked. So, and I think we've covered the questions from the members. So if necessary, can I ask if Ian has anything else to add or summarize at this point? Good. And is there anything else from Brother Bean or from his son to highlight or to say at this point?
Nothing in particular, just asking. I know it says a decision will be made within 5 working days. So moving forward, do we just wait for a response or?
That's correct. So what will happen at this point is the subcommittee will discuss this decision, and we'll also just consult with our legal advisors, and then you will be notified 5 working days from tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, about a decision. Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
that's fine. Thank you for clearing that up.
No, thank you. And I hopefully I hope we won't have to see you here again for something like this. I just encourage you to ensure at this point that you are as responsible as possible as licensee holders. Good. I think that concludes the hearing. And so in that case, as I've already highlighted, we'll deliberate with our legal advisors in private and as well with our committee clerk. And a full decision, like I said, will be sent to you within 5 working days. There is also an appeal process. So if you do desire to appeal, you can do so within 21 days of the decision. So that obviously that process will be notified to you once you've been made aware of the decision. Okay? Awesome. In that case, can I wish everyone a good evening and speak to our subcommittee very shortly.
Yep, thank you for your time. Really appreciate it. Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Chair.